live from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
A pleasant evening and a very warm welcome to the National News Broadcast. We are coming to you live from Rupavahini's News Studios. I'm Anjali Ananda.
And I'm Vibhuda Vijay Bandara. Let's have a look at today's top stories.
The President emphasizes on the need to provide fertilizer for the yellow season continuously. The highest amount of funds to the health sector from the budget 2025. Steps taken to prepare a national media policy. The national television rejects the allegations made on SLRC evading tax by certain quarters. Mervyn Silva and 3 other suspects in custody until the 17th of this month. The US President warns Hamas to release hostages. Now for the stories in detail. President Anura Kumar Dissanayake stresses the need to provide fertilizer continuously for the cultivation during the yellow season.
The President stated this matter at a meeting held at the President's office regarding the supply of fertilizer needed for the yellow season. It was discussed at length the need of supplying fertilizer for the paddy and other cultivations in the yellow season. The President pointed out that environment should be prepared to start cultivations in the yellow season without causing any hindrance of inconvenience to the farmers. Minister of Agriculture K.D. Lal Kanta, Deputy Minister Dr. Susil Ranasinghe, President Secretary Dr. Nandika Sanat Kumar Nayaka and many others were present at this discussion.
President instructed the relevant officials to complete the payment of compensations immediately for the crop damages occurred during the rains and disaster situation in the recent past. The President gave these instructions at a discussion held today at the President's office with the officials of the Ministry of Agriculture, Livestock, Land and Irrigation. The discussion was held to look into whether the funds allocated from the budget are utilized properly for the relevant project. The President focused the attention of the officials that due to incomplete data of agriculture, there were problems in taking decisions. It was also emphasized to decide prices of agricultural products, both providing fair price for the farmer and causing justice to the consumer as well. In addition, measures that should be taken to promote livestock sector and to promote export crops were discussed. They further discussed the operations of the Milco company and its progress.
A discussion was also held at the President's office today regarding the funds allocated for the education by the 2025 budget proposals and the progress of these activities. They focused on their attention regarding the problems raised at the education sector, and the new reforms that are scheduled to be conducted in future were also discussed. They also discussed the future measures that should be taken to promote higher education in schools and vocational education. Prime Minister and Minister of Education Dr. Harini Amarasuriya, Deputy Minister Madhura Senaviratne, President Secretary and a group of officials from the Ministry of Education were present at this discussion. Minister Nalinda Jayatissa says that measures will be taken to prepare a national media policy. He made these remarks participating in the committee stage debate of Ministry of Health and Mass Media in the Parliament today. Parliamentarian Gayantha Karunathilaka said that the opposition urges the government to accelerate the digitalization project as soon as possible. Parliamentarian Jagat Manuvarana said government media like Rupavahini has done certain government program coverages free of charge without acquiring any profits in the past. In 2021, Rupavahini has done 122 million rupees worth of such coverage without incurring profits or payments by the government. Similarly, in the year 2022, 144 million rupees and in 2023, 154 million rupees payments have been given to these coverages. A government institution cannot run like this because they have expenses to incur and payments of employees and for the services. In the year 2024, the government has reduced the government coverages to SLRC to about 52 million rupees. The government tried to reduce such activities for the smooth functioning of the SLRC. The sports coverage of SLRC for the 2011 World Cup had incurred a cost of 143 million rupees, although SLRC earned a profit of 550 million rupees.
Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa says that the maximum amount of history has been allocated to health sector by this budget. The minister stated this taking part in the committee stage debate in the House today. Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa said that a sum of 664 billion rupees has been allocated for the entire health sector. In 2024, this amount was 352 million rupees only. By allocating such a huge amount, the government expects to establish 1,000 primary health centers. The project will be started within this year. The water problem in some hospitals will be solved without delay. Parliamentarian Rohita Abegunawardene said that the minister as an MP of the Kalutara district should focus much attention for the people in his district. Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa said that the government does not expect to upgrade hospitals under political influence. Each parliamentarian likes to upgrade a small hospital in his area to the level of general hospital. However, it is not practical in reality. One of the government parliamentarians said that the doctors, nurses and the entire health staff should be commended for their strenuous efforts made to develop the health sector at a higher level among the other countries of the world in the face of economic downturn of the country. They did not leave the country at a difficult time. This government pay its fullest respect for the health staff for their commitment.
යන්න තරම් අවස්ථාවක් නිර්මාණය වෙලා නැති ඒ වගේම එහෙම දකින්න පුළුවන් වෙන එහෙම දකින්න විපක්ෂයක් කියලා කියන්නේ මට හිතෙන්නේ ඒකත් අපේ රටේ සෞඛ්‍ය ශාස්ත්‍රයේම තව අඩු දියුණු පැත්තක් අර මූලික වැටුප වැඩි
Opposition leader Sajid Premadasa requests the government to increase the basic salary and other allowances as well. Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa said that even the opposition leader should admit the fact that the government has increased the salaries of paramedical service as well. Their basic salary has increased from 22,040 rupees to 43,320 rupees. Doctors' basic salary is increased from 39,860 rupees to 79,815 rupees. Nurses' basic salary has also increased 22,395 rupees to 43,675 rupees. All will be paid for their extra duties according to the increased basic salary. The government has increased the salary in line with the economic stability. MP Rohini Kaviratna said that 333 types of medicines should be supplied by the Medical Supplies Department by January this year. However, the Health Deputy Minister says that only 56 types of medicine are in short supply at present. However, according to this report, 333 varieties is in short supply. One of the parliamentarians said that the reports pointed out by MP Rohini Kaviratna are all false. Even in the parliament, there are over 20 doctors. She should have submitted correct reports with prior study.
එහෙම වාර්තා ඉදිරිපත් කරන්නේ නැහැ ඔබතුමිය මේ එක එක්කෙනා දීපු කොළ කැලි ගැන මෙතන කියවන්න එපා මොකද මෙතන ඉන්න සබ්ජෙක්ට් එක
The Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation stresses that it completely rejects the allegations of certain groups that the SLRC is not paying VAT. It requests such persons not to make such statements without having knowledge of factual information but based on false information. It could be witnessed on social media that an allegation is made to this effect that Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation is evading VAT. The social media has alleged that the Inland Revenue Department is not taking any action regarding the board of directors, ministers and the secretary to the ministry who are not paying VAT. It has also been alleged in Parliament that the state media is not paying VAT. Parliamentarian S.M. Marikar said that state media institutions have a collective responsibility and it cannot be denied that policies of the government should be promoted as well. Those institutions must rely on the funds earned by themselves, and it has to be pointed out that most of the government media institutions are evading VAT. Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation has been making payments under a definite plan since 2024 on the approval of the Inland Revenue Department. The corporation has paid an amount of 5 million rupees in the month of September 2024, 11 million rupees in the month of October, another 10 million rupees in November and 18 million rupees in December respectively. Apart from this payment plan, since 2025, the stipulated VAT has also been paid. Accordingly, as per the payment plan of 2025, an amount of 10 million rupees has been paid, and payments in respect of the month of January 2025 has also been paid on the 27th of February. Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation has been conducting VAT payments according to the stipulated methodologies by now. Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa said that although the opposition says that the state media institutions are evading VAT, the same has been paid during the last 5 months. VAT of the month of September has not been paid, and that will also be paid by getting a concession on it. This government has had to make the payments which were not paid by the previous government. It has been a matter of regret that false allegations have been made by responsible persons against national media, which is fulfilling a national responsibility by using their parliamentary privileges without studying proper facts. The view of the SLRC is that it would be more ethical to present information after investigating about the correct information in this respect before pointing a finger towards the national media. It is a matter of regret again that acting upon information provided by someone else without investigating, the corporation kindly requests to obtain accurate information before making any allegation in the future.
3 suspects, including former Minister Mervyn Silva, have been remanded until the 17th of this month. They were ordered to be remanded when produced before the Mahara Magistrate Court today. Mervyn Silva and 2 others were taken into custody last night under the charge of preparing fake deeds and selling estate land in Kalani area to private sector when he was a minister in a previous government. Later, the suspects were brought to the CID and questioned. Then the suspects were produced before the Mahara Magistrates Court. The magistrate ordered the suspects to be remanded until the 17th of this month.
Valasmulla Magistrate Court today granted permission to police to detain and question the shooter of the Middenia triple murder and the 3 other suspects arrested in conspiring and abetting to this murder for 72 hours. This permission was granted when the suspects were produced before the Valasmulla Magistrates Court today. The gunman connected to this murder was arrested last noon at Katuana area in Middenia. He is a 42-year-old resident of the same area. Among the other suspects, there are 2 males aged 24 and 28 years, residents of the Virakatiya and Madamulan areas respectively. There is also a female suspect aged 25 years and resident in Ranna area. The motorbike used to this incident was discovered by the police lifeguard division while being dumped in a quarry in Debokkava area. This triple murder took place on the 18th of February this year at the Middenia Police Division. A person named Andra Vidanagamage alias Kajra of Migasara area in Virakatiya was killed along with his little son and the daughter.
19 incidents of firing have been reported so far this year. Police said in a media briefing held today that 68 suspects have been taken into custody in this connection. Police have taken into custody 14 T56 firearms and pistols this year. Police media spokesman SSP Buddhika Manatunga said that 19 incidents of firing have been reported this year, and it has been reported that 12 of them have been firings by organized gangs. The remaining 7 incidents were based on personal conflicts. So far, the police has taken into custody 68 suspects connected with these firings and a T56 firearm used in these incidents, along with another 5 T56 firearms and 7 T56 firearms altogether during 2025 until now. Apart from this, 62 pistols used in these incidents and another 5 pistols have been taken into custody by the police. In addition, the shooter who was responsible for the firing incident inside the Alutkade Courts complex on the 19th of February has also been taken into custody along with the firearm used in this crime and all the 12 persons connected with it.
The Election Commission says that 6 recognized political parties and 19 independent groups have deposited money according to the 2025 local government elections for 40 local government institutions. Accepting nominations will be valid from 17th of this month until 12 noon of the 20th. The Election Commission met today in order to take immediate decisions regarding the forthcoming provincial council elections. After the meeting, Chairman of the Election Commission, RMAL Ratnayaka, expressed his views to the media. Chairman of the Election Commission, RMAL Ratnayaka, said that deposits for 40 local authorities have been received by 6 political parties and 19 independent groups. He also said that necessary steps have been taken to accept nominations from the 17th March to 12 noon on the 20th March at all district secretariats of the 25 districts. The chairman also said that applications for postal votes are already begun and will be accepted until 12th March. He further said that according to the Act, the dates for the election can only be announced once acceptance of nominations are concluded. In the meantime, Podujana Iksat Peramana today deposited money for the provincial council elections under the chair symbol at the district secretariat, Colombo.
Minister Nalinda Jayatissa says that measures will be taken to prepare national media policy. He made these remarks participating in the committee stage debate of the Ministry of Health and Mass Media in Parliament today. Parliamentarian Gayantha Karunathilaka said that the opposition urges the government to accelerate the digitalization project as soon as possible. Parliamentarian Jagat Manuwarna said government media like Rupavahini has done certain government program coverages free of charge without acquiring any profit in the past. In 2021, Rupavahini has done 122 million rupees worth of such coverage without incurring profits or payments by the government. Similarly, in the year 2022, 144 million rupees, and in the year 2023, 154 million rupees payments have not been given to these coverages. A government institution cannot run like this because they have expenses to incur and payments of employees and for other services. In the year 2024, the government has reduced the government coverages to SLRC to about 52 million rupees. The government tried to reduce such activities for smooth functioning of the SLRC. The sports coverage of SLRC for the 2011 World Cup had incurred a cost of 143 million rupees, although SLRC earned a profit of 550 million rupees. The then sons of a former president saw the profit making by telecasting sports events, and eventually from 2012 to 2015 they created their own private TV channels and earned private profit. This profit should have been made to SLRC if it was covered by the national television. MP Mujibur Rahman said the opposition asked the Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa to close the online safety bill which was bought by the previous government. Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa said the government have not yet to form a commission for that to inquire and make necessary arrangements. When this bill was forwarded the Parliament, there were many amendments made. One of the parliamentarians pointed out that the money allocated for Rupavahini, ChannelEye and Netra by this budget allocation through ministers is very important. Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa said that in order to increase the professionalism of journalists, the government is to establish a chartered institute for journalists and 25 million rupees has been allocated for this purpose.
Providing coconut fertilizer at concessionary prices for coconut small business owners or landowners less than 5 acres to increase their harvest is scheduled to be completed within the last week of this month. Minister Samantha Vidyaratna says accordingly a 50 kg bag of fertilizer amounting to 9,500 rupees will be provided at a reduced price of 4,000 rupees. The Advisory Committee of the Ministry of Plantation and Community Infrastructure Facilities met at the Parliament yesterday under the patronage of the Minister. He further said that Russia has granted a stock of 27,500 metric tons of fertilizer. The stock will be mixed with a power rock phosphate and urea and manufactured 56,000 metric tons of special fertilizer meant for coconut cultivation. The Fertilizer Corporation has also taken measures to produce 2.5 million coconut saplings this year to enhance the coconut cultivation in the country. Governor of the Central Province, Professor SBS Abercorn, says that about 60,000 devotees will be able to worship the sacred tooth relic per day during the period of Sri Dalada exposition. He revealed these facts at a media briefing held at the District Secretariat in Kandy today, following a discussion in this connection. Governor of the Central Province, Professor SBS Abercorn, said that 3 queues of people will be arranged in 3 directions to visit the Sri Dalada Maligava. 2 queues across the Kandy Lake and 1 queue from DS Senanayaka Mawata. Within 5.5 hours, the organizers expect 68,000 people to be lined on those queues and to manage the crowd properly. No decision has been taken yet regarding the mobile phones carrying with them. Now, Finance Minister says the vehicles that have been permitted to be imported into Sri Lanka must be registered within 90 days. In addition, 25% of the total number of vehicles imported by any importer in particular is not registered within 6 months. Consensus of importation will be suspended. These facts were revealed when the COPE committee met recently. Officials representing the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development stated that vehicle imports have been allowed under certain conditions. These conditions have been imposed pertaining to importation of vehicles in view of encouraging the revival of normal economic activities and safeguarding the economic stability of the country, while taking into account protecting foreign exchange reserves, discouraging the importation of an excess number of vehicles and keeping away unnecessary stocks of motor vehicles. Accordingly, vehicles that have been granted permission to be imported into Sri Lanka must be registered within 90 days. The officials further said if 25% of the total number of vehicles imported by any importer in particular is not registered within 6 months, consensus of importation will be suspended. 3% fine will also be imposed on unregistered vehicles, subject to a maximum of 45%. The ministry official stated that if anyone wishes to import vehicles on a personal capacity, only 1 vehicle could be imported, whilst a trader does not have such condition. The COPE committee met under the leadership of parliamentarian Dr. Harsha De Silva. The committee member also discussed the request to provide policy-wise support to protect the country's local electrical vehicle manufacturing industry.
The Korean Foundation made a donation of goods and equipment to the value of 360 million rupees for the development of biomedical engineering services in the health service of this country. These equipments include 8 new technological mobile service vehicles and equipment for service activities. The concerned donation was officially handed over yesterday to Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa by the Ambassador of South Korea in Sri Lanka and Dr. Il Suha, President of the Korean Foundation for the International Health Services at the Health Ministry premises. The value of 8 mobile service vehicles is around 160 million rupees. According to the Ministry of Health, the value of equipments for equipment service activities is about 200 million rupees. Deputy Minister Dr. Hansaka Vijayamuni and a number of others, including officials of the ministry, were present in this occasion.
Now, the International Women's Day falls on the 8th of this month. It is only 2 days left. The theme of this year's Women's Day has been Sustainable Tomorrow to Build a Strong Woman Will Be the Path. The national television, joining hands with Sri Lankan women this time as well, will be participating in a special women's workshop on the 8th of this month, organized by Women's Lions Club of Kurunegala. This has been organized at the Kurunegala Town Hall from 8:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. A number of veterans representing several areas will be participating in the workshop. This includes medical discussions, beauty culture, cookery, guidance on self-employment, bridal dressing and a number of other features. Everyone can participate in the workshop free of charge. Accordingly, the national television requests everyone to participate in the workshop.
The Department of Railways has initiated a program to clear both sides of the railway track in order to prevent wild elephants colliding trains. Accordingly, the clearing of railway line from Galoya to Hingurakoda is being done now. This has been implemented with the participation of the officials of the maintenance unit of the Polonnaru railway line. A large number of wild elephant collisions have been reported from Polonnaru district during the recent past. This has been one of such steps to prevent these accidents. It has been revealed during observations in this connection that the train drivers were unable to wave the railway line in front clearly during such wild elephant collisions. Accordingly, attention has been paid to remove shrub areas of both sides of the railway line. The clearing of about 20 feet of area of both sides of the railway line is now being conducted.
A ceremony to celebrate the World Wildlife Day was held at the Vilpattu National Park premises. The ceremony, organised by the Department of Wildlife Conservation, was held under the leadership of Deputy Minister Anton Jayakodi. The theme of the Wildlife Day this time has been conservation of wildlife resources, human being and investment in the future of the world. School children around the Vilpattu National Park participated in a drawing competition organised at the premises. The presentation of certificates in this regard was also conducted. Kirti Jalath, who presented the short film Batkura, was also awarded during the Wildlife Day celebrations. Deputy Minister of Environment Anton Jayakodi said that accurate data is needed for a quality environmental management. He said that even the environmentalists have no proper data on the population of talk monkeys. Deputy Minister further said that although an approximate value is not available, an estimated figure or data is needed when making decisions as a government.
High Commissioner of New Zealand elaborates on Sri Lanka and New Zealand's shared economic future at the Pathfinder Foundation hosted Ambassadors Roundtable. The event was held in Colombo today. At the forum, comprising industry experts and representatives of local media institutions, High Commissioner reiterated that an increased population of South Asian heritage residing in New Zealand, as well as existing dynamics in the geopolitical space, have stimulated interest in the region. In a world where economic interests cannot be separated from strategic interests, Sri Lanka's potential due to strategic location in the Indian Ocean in close proximity to an economic giant, as well as its talented, well-educated populace, provides long-term opportunities and reasons for New Zealand to increase its focus on the island nation, the High Commissioner noted.
Interesting discussion. The influential group of Sri Lankans thinking about how we can take our relationship forward. Today we were focusing mostly on the economic side of things. We talked about our long linkages in agricultural development and regulatory cooperation, and we talked about some new areas that we really want to focus on. How we can bring our people together in business-to-business partnerships, not necessarily just in Sri Lanka and New Zealand, but elsewhere, and what we need to do to make that happen by strengthening people-to-people linkages in areas like tourism and using sport and culture to do all that. So it was a great discussion.
And with that, we end today's news from home. We are moving on to a short commercial break. On the other side, it's News Overseas. Welcome back to the National News Telecast. Moving on to news overseas. France will consider extending the protection of its nuclear arsenal to its allies, French President Emmanuel Macron said Wednesday, while warning that Europe needs to be ready for the United States to not remain by our side in the Ukraine-Russia war. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky arrived in Brussels hours after a Russian missile hit a hotel in his hometown Kryvyi Rih, where Western charity workers were staying. President Volodymyr Zelensky thanks European leaders as they hold a summit in Brussels to discuss support for Ukraine. UK officials say around 20 countries are interested in joining the coalition of the willing to help Ukraine, though not necessarily with troops. Ukraine's ambassador to London, Zaluzny, accused the US of destroying the established world order by trying to meet Russia halfway.
New Zealand qualified for the finals of Champions Trophy one-day cricket tournament yesterday. New Zealand won the semi-final match against South Africa, played in Lahore, by 50 runs. New Zealand won the toss and decided to bat first. They scored 362 runs for 6 wickets in their allotted 50 overs. The score is reported as the highest score of a team gained in a Champions Trophy match. Ravindra scored his 5th century with 108 runs. Ken Williamson marked his 15th century with 102 runs. Darrell Mitchell 49 runs and Glenn Phillips 49 not out. In reply, South Africa could only score 312 runs for 9 wickets in their 50 overs. Captain Timba Baumer 56 runs and Raziz Van Dyer 69 runs. David Miller scored his 7th ODI century with 100 not out. The finals will be played between India and New Zealand on the 9th of this month. And that's all the news we have for you tonight. Join us tomorrow at the same time for the very latest on Channel Eye. I'm Dilanjali, together with Vibhuda, signing off. Good night.